Hello there, and thanks to Ren for having me in his video. Now, the reason why Wonder Woman is so important to the cinematic universe for DC is that it's about time that we had a female-led superhero movie. Wonder Woman has a massive history behind her, which started, of course, in the comics, and she's since had great animated features and, of course, the Justice League TV show. So yeah, let's see what she can do on the big screen.
After watching Batman v Superman, I had very mixed feelings about it, but there was one thing I was sure about. I love Wonder Woman, or Wendy as I like to call her. She is perfection. So of course I'm very hyped for this movie. We all needed to succeed in order to prove not only DC, but Marvel too, that female superheroes can lead a movie and be a complete success. So, good luck, Wendy.
Wonder Woman is directed by Patty Jenkins and written by Alan Heinberg, and it stars Gal Gadot, Chris Pine, David Thewlis, Robin Wright, and Connie Nielsen, among many others, and it's the origin story of Diana, aka Wonder Woman, who lives peacefully on her island of Themyscira until one day when Steve Trevor accidentally lands his plane on the island, and from then on, confusion ensues. We have Wonder Woman traveling into the midst of World War I, fighting the Germans, and we have her journey into the world of men for the first time, finding the good things and the bad things about humanity. My friends, I am so happy to say that DC is back on track. As always, this is a movie with flaws, but as far as building your universe, as far as constructing something to move forward, to have solid grounds, to build your universe onwards, this is one great film. Patty Jenkins directs this beautifully. She directs this with a big heart. This movie is vibrant with passion. The cinematography is excellent throughout. When we see the world of Diana and of Themyscira, it is full of color, it is dynamic, it is lived in. This island is so full of life, literally and figuratively. But then we move on to World War I and we see some of the familiar cinematography, for better or worse if you don't like it or you do, that we see in movies like Man of Steel or Batman v Superman. And it gives us Wonder Woman in this familiar place, visually connecting us to the movies that we already know to exist in this DCEU. Patty Jenkins has beautiful moments captured in this film, not only for the cinematography standpoint, which I just talked about, but also the shot setup. This movie has some gorgeous shots, some gorgeous moments of very subtle, beautiful, graceful storytelling in this film. There are moments that are so well captured that you don't linger on them too much because you don't need to. And there are also moments that you stay there for a while. This movie allows itself to breathe. This movie allows characters to build relationships, to talk to each other about their lives, about their motivations, about their purposes in here, about what drives them into going into this, let's face it, suicide mission. Yes, suicide mission. A true suicide mission. I thought Gal Gadot did a really good job. She portrayed the innocence and vulnerability of Diana, and she really has the values that have always driven Wonder Woman in the comics, in animated movies, in animated series, and she really portrays that very well. The physicality that she portrays in the fight scenes is incredible. I was astounded at how good she was in the battle sequences. She does have some moments where a line doesn't really come off right or the way you wanted it to be, just to be that perfect, but there are moments where she actually doesn't need to say any words and she portrays Wonder Woman's feelings exactly right, and I was damn surprised by that, happily surprised by that. Steve Trevor is a character you immediately fall in love with, and that is due to the acting by Chris Pine and the direction, of course, by Patty Jenkins. Steve Trevor is a man who is not exactly the best example of what a soldier should be, but by being that, he's exactly the best soldier you can have. I love this guy so much in this movie. They gave so much to his character. They gave so much to Diana to give him, and vice versa. These two characters had a lot to give to each other, and they actually have a growing chemistry throughout the film. Initially, they have zero chemistry, and that's exactly what the movie wants. That's exactly what the story needs. Not only because you have this kind of fish out of water story for both of them, you have them not exactly getting along, you have them not exactly seeing things through the same lenses, and they kind of disagree a lot throughout this movie, nearly till the end, I might add, without spoiling. Ewan Bremner in this film was spectacular. I'm not going to say much, but I loved seeing him here because I was not expecting him. He basically plays this kind of more serious, more grounded ancestor version of Spud from Trainspotting, and what his character had to do, what his character meant for this movie, was a very good surprise. This is a film that actually very wholeheartedly, but very in your face also, it is very upfront about it, portrays the effects of war, that this war, particularly the First Great War, the war to end all wars, had on people. And what Spud, I'm gonna call him Spud, I'm sorry, what he goes through in this movie is so well done. It is not focused on too much, it is not shoved in your face how much this character is suffering, but damn if I did not love what they did with him. The battle sequences are so grandiose, they are so vibrant, so pump up your blood and it starts burning in your veins and you want to jump out of your chair but you can't because the whole theater is full of people enjoying this film. They are so incredibly well done. I do have some issues with the beginning of the movie. Some of the one-on-one fight sequences, they are a little too many cuts in there. There are a little too many close-ups and wide shots, but it's really nitpicky because when you have these grand gigantic battles, army versus army, and just lots of people versus lots of people, it is spectacular. It is tremendous fight choreography, tremendous power display, both by characters in the film and by the prowess of the people choreographing this and the people able to capture it on camera, and also the visual effects are tremendous. So many different types of visual artistry in this film as far as special effects are concerned. I could notice when there was a certain type of special effect in this movie, like rotoscoping or 3D animation or rotomapping, but that's because I studied it. It's not because I noticed it in the movie, but they were really spectacularly well done. As far as flaws with this film, there are a couple of moments that are really in the wrong moment, let's say. A couple of slow moments came in really at the weirdest of times possible. I just thought they did not fit into where they were put in this movie, but they were not bad moments into themselves. Without spoiling, I also think some of the villains were not very well thought out. They were one-dimensional at best, but there are some villains that are very well handled. Villains that are built upon. The threat is constantly increasing throughout the film. The threat is always there, constant. And the final battle in this movie, I abso-fucking-lutely adored. That's all I'll say until the spoilers review. You will have to wait. There's also one actor in here, which I will not say who it is, that is kind of wasted. And I was really anxious to see that actor in action. Not necessarily in action sequences, but acting on the frame. The score is absolutely tremendous by a man who I can't remember his name, but his last name is Williams, and he scored Hacksaw Ridge and Split, and the score for this movie is epic. And the script is also really great. There are some moments that are not so great, and that took a little bit away, because when you see such greatness on a script and how it handles its story, I thought some moments were not really well thought out and not really well paced. But those are moments, really, these are really nitpicky things, the flaws I have with the movie. But since the rest was so great, I do have to point them out. Wonder Woman is vibrant and dynamic, and it keeps on moving, and it approaches the story in more ways than one, and in more surprising ways that you might be expecting. The battle sequences are epic, the acting all around is great, the handle of characters is incredible. It has one of the best climaxes I've seen in years, it has a great setup moving onwards for the DC universe. Wonder Woman brings DC back on its tracks. And I'm so happy to say this. I'm so happy for Patty Jenkins. Thank you so much for this film. Wonder Woman is undoubtedly a certified collector's item. What did you think of Wonder Woman, my beautiful geekies? Are you looking forward to Justice League now more than before seeing this movie? Let me know in the comments below, and let me know what is your most anticipated DCEU film after Justice League. Don't forget, as you go down to the comments, to let me know, to check the description, to join the beautiful geeky community Facebook group. The link is in there as always. Thank you so much for watching, my beautiful geekies. You guys are the freaking best. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. I can't wait to bring you the spoilers review so we can freely talk about Wonder Woman. And until then, you stay beautiful, you stay geeky, and if you haven't done so yet, click subscribe and the bell so it can be geeky united!